Can a woman ever recover from being an OF
Never.
model?
No.
What?
Absolutely not.
But she changed her life,
I don't
Sarah.
care.
She found God, Sarah.
Well, okay. Let me reiterate. Can she recover? Yes. Will she have the best options of high value, high earning masculine men? No.
But
It doesn't matter.
She's abstinent.
She sold her body on the internet.
She's abstinent
People
now.
have seen her busted, spread wide open. There's no way.
She dressed modestly now.
What is modest when you've seen it all?
She is a member of the PTA, Sarah.
I love that for her. Ladies, we have to do a better job of measuring the consequences of our actions in the now. Now, although femininity deeply lives in the now, we also have to be mindful of what's going to happen in our future. If you decide to be ran through, if you decide to have an OF, if you decide to do adult entertainment industry, you are disqualifying yourself from a certain type of man. You are disqualifying yourself from certain types of opportunities and experiences. Now, that being said, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, and you want to be a bad bee, and you want to be out here living your best life, doing all bad all by yourself, do you, boo? But I promise you, in the future, you will look back and you will regret the decisions that you made. It is not worth it.
So,
yeah,
hold on.
Come on.
Gotta play devil's advocate here.
I love devil's advocate.
So, what about the men? Why is it that
it's a double standard?
Oh, why is it?
Yeah.
Like a man's confidence is defined by how many women he break down in his bed.
Why does the sun come up in the east and go down in the west?
Because God made it that way.
Why do the stars sparkle?
But that's God's law.
Why is the sky blue even though it's not blue? Why? I don't ask those questions. It is a double standard. We can't sit here and pretend like we are the same as men. We're not. We're not. We can't wash men off. Period. No, I need you to hear me. We cannot wash men off. There will always be a remnant of the men that we've been with inside of our bodies for life. So if you are just filled with all of these different people, you know how many different soul ties, demon spirits you got in your body?
But so do men, though.
No, men can wash us off.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying because we are incubators and they are the whatever.
Penetrators. That's what they are. Yeah. It's a sport, especially for certain types of men. And for us to sit here and act like we could be just like men, that's wild to me. I can't even fathom that.
I'm not.
Follow my channel for any length of time, then you know that I do not like double standards. I hate double standards. But I recognize that we do exist in a system where there are double standards and there are going to be double standards. And this is most assuredly a double standard. A man can even go as far as to have his OnlyFans page or work in porn or whatever. And it will not be as much of a blight on him as it would be on a woman. If a woman has an OnlyFans, if a woman is exposing herself, if she's doing porn, then it's most likely that the level of man that she will be able to attract is not going to be what we would call the top echelon. She's not going to be with a CEO of a major company. They are concerned about their reputation. They are concerned about their status in society and the country club that they belong to and so on and so forth. So you're just not going to have that same opportunity if you've allowed yourself to be exposed in that format. And it's odd that, and it's messed up that in some circles, for a man to have done something like that is somewhat of a badge of honor. It's somewhat of an attraction. And when it comes to body counts, even though I really hate that one, because I don't think that anybody's body counts matters as far as I'm concerned, because what she calls soul ties, what she calls demons inside you, yes, I understand the logic behind it. But what I see is the emotion behind it. 9 times out of 10, if a woman has sex with a man, she has to have some type of emotional attachment to that man. Because of that emotional attachment, it creates a long-lasting tie to that man. I don't look at it as some spiritual thing or the actual elements of his sperm inside of her are still there. You're not carrying a man's sperm for, 10, 15, 20 years of your entire life. That's biological nonsense. We know that that is just simply not true biologically. But what you carry is the emotional attachment. And the difference is that 9 times out of 10, a man can have sex with a woman and have zero emotional attachments. And that's another thing that women should guard against. And that's one of the things that I've taught my sons and my daughters is the fact that when you engage in intimacy with someone, you have to be mindful of what emotional attachments you have towards that person. If it's not someone that you desire to have emotional attachment with, then I suggested to my children that they should not have sex with them. Don't be intimate with them. Don't even share intimate outings with that type of person if you don't want to be emotionally attached to them for over a long period of time. But I also taught my children how to eliminate those emotional attachments. So even though a woman can have those, what they are calling soul ties, which are emotional attachments, there is a way to eliminate all those emotional attachments through some intensive coaching, some intensive therapy. You can get rid of any attachments that you have with anyone emotionally. So I don't fully agree that you with her when she says women carry them all their life, the men can wash them off. Men just don't attach emotionally because of sex. Is really just that simple. Um, but she is right, and I always taught my children that consequences of all your actions, all your thoughts, all your words, all your deeds, all these things need to be considered before you do anything. Before I even speak, oftentimes I consider the words that I'm about to speak and what the impact may be, so that I can kind of measure the consequences of those things. So the biggest takeaway for me here that I want you guys to have is the fact that every action, deed, thought has consequences. Yes, you have created emotional attachments with men, but you can get rid of those emotional attachments. But your consequences of your emotional attachments and the uh, general morality, the idea of the general morality can haunt you. So if you're doing something in the now, or you're thinking about doing something in the now because of whatever opportunity or situation, I would ask you to think long term. Think long term. If you don't have children, but then 10 years from now you want to have children, all that OnlyFans stuff is still online. You want to run for political office, all that stuff is online. You want to be the face of a company, all that stuff is still online. So you have to be incredibly mindful of what you do. Now, if you just don't give two flips about what other people think, and you just gonna live your life and do your life, and if it disqualifies you from certain things, well, that's their loss. If that's your mentality, then live your life and be happy. Live your life and be happy, and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. But it's just food for thought. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.